This is the Jake in Cleveland, where tonight the 217th consecutive sellout crowd will be on hand as the Cleveland Indians take on the Seattle Mariners. And the big unit tonight, he has struck out more hitters per 9 innings than anyone.
Well, Randy Johnson's a very intimidating guy because of the fact that he throws very hard. He's a very tall guy, and when he released the ball, he's almost halfway to the man to home plate.
A little frightening. He's a little bit wild. It's not nice. It's not fun to see a guy throwing the ball 98 miles an hour, 97 miles an hour to his head, and it's not fun to see.
That's one pitcher, being a left-hand hitter, that I absolutely would not want to face.
Off to a great start, 10-2. Kenny Lofton, their leadoff batter, will be in there tonight. The cleanup hole, Manny Ramirez. This team has home run power, and they've got their starting catcher back. Sandy Alomar Jr. will be behind the plate. A major task for these Cleveland hitters, Randy Johnson. He has made 3 starts this season without picking up a win, but 15 strikeouts in his start against the Red Sox on Friday. Seattle needs a W, and they need a big night from him. Lou Pinella's hope that he doesn't have to go to the bullpen. They're 0-4. 0 for 4 in save opportunities and struggling mightily. But his team does have power. 26 home runs leading the majors as a team, and Ken Griffey Jr. leading that pack, the second youngest in Major League history to hit 300 home runs. Tonight, the Cleveland Indians will have their young right-hander, Bartolo on the mound. 2 starts, a 1-0 record. But Randy Johnson is the story. Can he get a win in his 4th start? We're going to find out. Coming up next on Wednesday Night Baseball.
Maybe mounting that camera inside a baseball wasn't the best way to get a close-up of Larry Walker's batting gloves. Franklin carbon fiber batting gloves. The official batting glove of Major League Baseball.
Moscow, we have a problem.
Introducing Self-Wax from Blue Coral. Just pour a little on and wipe. In no time at all, you'll get a fantastic wet look shine. With Self-Wax, there's no drying time, no powdery residue. And because there's absolutely no buffing, you won't be huffing and puffing to get a great shine. Self-Wax from Blue Coral, the wax that wipes out buffing. Use Self-Clean, the one-step tire and wheel cleaner that cleans as you rinse.
Yeah, we're on our way back right now, so if you can have this on my desk.
How long's she been on that phone?
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
They're just gonna have
With Nextel, you never pay roaming charges. Instead, when you travel, your home market rate travels with you anywhere on the Nextel national network.
one little bit on it, it's gonna throw the whole thing off.
So go ahead. Take care of business at
Got
home
another call coming in.
or at hand.
Hello?
Hi, what's it gonna be, the fries or the rice?
Nextel. You've never used a phone like this before.
ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball is brought to you by Franklin, the official batting glove of Major League Baseball.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday Night Baseball here on ESPN. Gary Miller with you in the studio, keeping you up to date on everything else going on in the major leagues. The day started with a historic occurrence in Shea Stadium. The Yankees in town for the first time since they borrowed the place in 1975. And fans there familiar with Darryl Strawberry, who last homered here as a Dodger in 1991. This one opposite field, his 4th home run of the year. He's the all-time home run leader at Shea with 127 of them. 3 solo shots for the Angels, not nearly enough off David Wells, who moves to 2-1 as Ken Hill gets saddled with his first loss. Yanks with a 6-game win streak. As always, it's doubleheader night here on Wednesdays. Our second game will come to you from San Francisco. The first place Padres playing the Giants and Barry Bonds. But right now it's time for our opener. The Mariners trying to break out of that protracted slump. Gary Thorne and Ray Knight bring you Seattle and Cleveland.
Welcome back to the Jake, everybody. And you're right, Seattle is trying to get out of a mighty big slump and mighty quiet around the Seattle locker room. I mean, 7 losses in a row is not the way this team thought the season was going to begin.
No, Gary, they did not. This is an outstanding offensive ball club. Tremendous explosiveness. Everybody talked about last year's postseason being a fluke with their bullpen, and they've started off struggling already. So, somber mood.
Ray, obviously Lou Piniella has got to get this bullpen settled down here if this team's going to do something, and today he went at it individually with them.
He certainly did. Unprecedented, bringing everybody in, talking to Temlin for 30 minutes, in fact, in the bullpen. So Lou Piniella's really upset, and this ball club's reeling.
Let's take a look at the Nextel starting lineup for the Seattle Mariners. Joey Cora will be leading it off. He'll be at second base. Cora, a real spark plug on this team. He's a veteran, 32 years old now, who can put up some good numbers and on-base percentage-wise. Batting second, Alex Rodriguez. Ken Griffey Jr. bats third. Edgar Martinez, the designated hitter. David Segui will be at first base. Glenn Allen Hill starts in left field. Segui, you see, second in the American League of that batting average. Jeff Houston at third base. Dan Wilson will be doing the catching. And in right field, we're going to see Ryan Regmanovich. We'll talk about him tonight as we go along. Randy Johnson will be doing the pitching tonight. The big unit has not picked up a win yet. On the other side, the guy's got some fire, Ray.
Oh, you're talking about fire, Gary. Tonight we're going to see some explosive heat. Bartolo Colon, 97, 98 mile-an-hour fastball, hard slider, almost everything hard. He mixes an occasional curveball and a straight changeup. See Cleveland's defense here. We're going to highlight Omar Vizquel. What a tremendous shortstop he is. Talking before the game to Grover. Tremendous play Friday night, opening series here. Watch the play up the middle. Edmonds runs very well, dives, throwing from his butt, throws him out. He said that that's the best play, Vizquel says, best play he's ever made.
That's a pretty high compliment for yourself right there, isn't it?
As many good plays as he's made.
Here at the Jake, some cloudiness today, no rain. A pretty decent night on hand right now. It'll be a little bit cool. The wind blowing in from center field, and not a big wind here tonight. In fact, relatively quiet for this time of year, and we're ready to go. Great to have you with us here Wednesday Night Baseball. The first game of our doubleheader tonight. Seattle 3-10, Cleveland 10-2, and we are underway. Joey Cora at the plate, and Cora takes the strike. See the numbers that have been put up by Cora so far. He's had a hit in every game. 13-game hit streak to start the season for the 32-year-old who's a lifetime .277 hitter and a good on-base percentage. And when he gets on base, he causes problems for pitchers. He's a good base runner, smart base runner. Colon's pitch, and that one misses outside.
See already 96 mile-an-hour fastball. His last start on his 128th pitch, he threw a 97 mile-an-hour fastball. So not only is he strong early, he maintains that.
And that one hit in the air to center field. Lofton will drift in underneath this one. Ball being blown in a bit. Cora's retired. Colon gets the first out, one down. This 22-year-old right-hander has come up with a new pitch this year. He's throwing that two-seam fastball, Ray. We were talking with his skipper, Mike Hargrove, about that before the game.
Well, it just creates a lot of situations for him. Everybody can hit a 97 mile-an-hour fastball if it's out away from him. Most everybody in the big leagues, if it's out away from him. His fastball normally is true blue, and his problems has gotten where he's throwing the fastball fat out over the plate. He's giving him a little bit more 92, 93 mile-an-hour fastball when he runs at two seams and it eats up the hitter.
Hargrove said it's one of the best pitches, most dominating pitchers he's seen in a long time, that new two-seamer this kid's come up with. He's gone from being a fly ball pitcher to being a ground ball pitcher now. Rodriguez, Alex Rodriguez, the shortstop up there, 254 at the start of the season, takes the pitch away. 1 ball, 1 strike count for one of the game's real great young players. Only 22 years old, .314 career batting average coming into this season. And that fastball catches the inside corner, 1-2.
Well, you're going to see that right there was a two-seamer, a little bit of sink, 91, 92 miles an hour. When he throws his four-seamer and gets up there around 96, 97, it will generally be high up in the strike zone.
1-2 delivery, and he got him to chase. And he gets the strikeout. K number 1, Rodriguez down.
Well, I'm going to predict right now that we're going to have about 25 strikeouts tonight. Here you go with a four-seamer, right pretty quick replay right there, but 95, 96 mile an hour fastball right there, boy. You just cannot get on top of that thing.
He's got a 1-0 mark coming into this game with a 2.63 earned run average. Both his starts this year came against Anaheim. He had a complete game shutout in an 11-0 win in his first game, and he'll face Ken Griffey Jr. Leading the league in home runs. 260 batting average, 6 homers and 15 RBIs for him. Down to first base, the slow roller. Played to the bag by Mando, and that's going to do it. So the 22-year-old right-hander throws only 10 pitches in the first inning, and Cologne has retired the Mariners. Indians coming up.
What's this stuff? Yuck! No. I'm out of here, Jack. Whoa! I got standards, you know. Nice try, big fella. Going up. Hey, hubba. Whoa. See ya!
For the best, come to your Sherwin-Williams store. The only place to find super paint. You'll get a beautiful finish in one coat.
Everyone into the pool. Oh,
when only the best will do, ask Sherwin-Williams.
When I decided to train for this, I heard it all. Jehu, you fool, this is the desert. Jehu, it's 110 degrees, crazy things. I practice around 5-6 hours a day with the rumble pack. On the slopes, in the half pipe, Jehu is there. It's very spiritual. Just you and the mountain, and the snowboard, and the game.
1080 snowboarding, only on Nintendo 64. Real close to the real thing.
I warn you, snowboarders, watch out for Jehu.
The 34-year-old left-hander who's about as scary to face as anyone has ever been in baseball. He's already been 4 this year, so guys have weak knees. When you take a look at Randy Johnson. This is the Nextel Indians lineup that will go against him. Kenny Lofton will be leading it off in center. Career batting average in April is the best among active players in the American League at .327 for his career. Rest of the lineup looks like this. We'll get a look at Mr. Bell. This is the youngster who's going to start. David Bell will be at second base in this ball game. Sean Dunston will be the designated hitter. Manny Ramirez will be in right field. Geronimo Baroja in left. Sandy Alomar Jr. doing the catching. Travis Fryman will be at third base. Jeff Matto's got first, and Omar Vizquel at short.
Well, we talked about Randy Johnson. Everybody talks about intimidating, and the reason is that he has a tendency to be wild up and in, especially left-handed hitters. Talking before the game to Kenny Lofton, he said that he feels that Randy does it on purpose, and Randy was wild early in his career, but he settled down with his baseball balls the last 2 or 3 years. So if he does come up in a hitter, a lot of times it is intentional. Great fastball, as everybody's noted, 97, 98, but his slider, these hitters, as I talked to him around the cage, they believe that's his best pitch. On the defense, you see the right fielder out there, Radmanovich. Nobody knows about him except us. We found out that he was acquired to spring training, right into spring training from Minnesota, career minor league player. Did hit 28 home runs last year in Tacoma. Actually, in Salt Lake City, was in Tacoma, called up a couple of days ago to play right field.
Jay Buhner's the man who's out on the 15-day DL, would normally be in right field. But with Buhner going on the DL, they needed some help, so Radmanovich had been called up. Kenny Lofton leads it off, and Lofton takes the pitch for a strike. Mike Hargrove saying left-handers hitting against Randy Johnson find out just how far you can really step into the bucket. Boy, trying to hang in on him. Down the left field line, and he'll over, and that's going to be out of play. Lofton putting one the other way. He'll come back with a 2-strike count on him.
There's always the wind blowing in off the lake, and that ball just kept pushing out of play. Look at him right here, how he comes at you. A lot of motion, that big, tall, and like Alomar said, he looks like he's right on top of you, that big 6'9" body, and that sidearm release. He comes down around Port Arthur, they used to say, when you drop down low.
There you see the numbers he put up against the Indians in a no-decision game. They hit him pretty hard. Lofton, check swing's gone. He could not hang in on it. So Kenny Lofton becomes the first strikeout victim. That is the 33rd of the season for Randy Johnson, #1 in the league.
Well, you feel like this ball just comes from behind you, and you see he's got no chance there. He's belling, his butt's gone. But watch how he drops down here and comes from way down under, and the ball just keeps on biting away, and it was actually a call strike anyway.
So 1 down, and he starts right where he left off in his last start with a strikeout. But it's the W that's going to matter more than anything else in this game. There you take a look at David Bell, picked up on waivers from St. Louis. How about having to make your first start in a Cleveland uniform against Randy Johnson? Bell came off the St. Louis Cardinal roster after having a great spring, but just nowhere for him to play. And Bell getting a chance here because infielder Enrique Wilson's got torn ligaments and has gone on the 60-day DL. So the opportunity for him now is to put up some numbers here and maybe find a place in the organization as a utility fielder. Fouls off the fastball, straight back, 2-ball, 2-strike count on David Bell.
You see his fastball is 90, 91 miles an hour right now. Mike Hargrove said that the first start that they faced him earlier this year that he wasn't throwing well. Johnson wasn't throwing well, that he only got up to about 91 on the gun, and generally these guys are used to seeing him throw 96, 97 miles an hour. So he hasn't reached that strength point yet where his fastball is up, and we'll see how he progresses tonight.
As we said, he has not had 4 starts without a decision since 1993. In the 2 no decisions he's had this year, the bullpen blew leads he had when he left the game. The other one he got romped on pretty good for the loss. That one hit in the air to left field and pretty deep. David Bell, first at bat as a Cleveland Indian, gives it a ride, and it's off the wall. Bell makes the turn at second base. Hill's got to track it down. They're going to wave him home. Going to try for the inside the park. He's got it. David Bell's first at bat with the Cleveland Indians, and inside the park home run.
This is what happens when things go badly for you. We mentioned 7 losses in a row. This ball going back to the wall. You wonder where your center fielder is right here. I don't even see Kenny Griffey coming into play. But a bad relay. The ball comes in, hits Jeff Houston right there, and he messes it up. That's what happens when you don't execute, and that's what happens when you're losing 7 games in a row. Everybody begins to press.
David Bell, 1-0 lead for the Indians, rocks the Jake with an inside the park homer. That's a lot to smile about.
He's getting it probably worn out. He hadn't been playing much, but right there he's dead duck if he catches that ball. Just a routine catch and throw, and you see big leaguers do it all the time. Not catch it, not be able to throw it.
That ball hit in the air by Sean Dunston to Griffey. And there are 2 down.
I think Randy Johnson's been around a long time, that he's the type of guy that stops losing streaks, but certainly you don't like to see that happen first part of the ball game. But again, wind blowing in, that ball's out of the ballpark easily. If the that gust of wind out there, probably 20 miles an hour, wouldn't you say, Gary?
Absolutely. And the flag was up straight on when that ball was hit. Bell gets his 5th major league home run, the first one he's ever had in the American League, in his first at-bat. He won't forget it.
No, that's sweet.
Manny Ramirez takes it inside for a ball. Wow, what a start. Randy Johnson's given up 4 homers this year. The other 3 left the park. All have come by right-handed batters. And there is David Bell in the long history of Bell baseball players. He now puts himself in the record books with a momentous moment, celestial, if you will. A 1-ball, 2-strike count on Manny Ramirez with 2 down. That'll get Hargrove smiling a little bit there, so I knew I should start him tonight.
Smart man.
Makes managers geniuses when those kind of things happen. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Ramirez.
That shows you the player that David Bell is. He's bounced around a little bit from Cleveland into St. Louis. Never really getting a chance to play over there with a little Russo, a little bit at short, a little third, a little second. But he had to be running hard all the way, even though that ball was hit real hard. He was running all the way right out of the box and enabled him to get an inside the park home run.
And I do wonder with you, Ray, where was Ken Griffey Jr. on that, though? There was nobody backing up. When Hill went back to the wall, if he wasn't going to make the catch, that ball was going to bounce away, and Griffey was nowhere near backing up his left fielder that time.
Well, he should have been over there, and he knows it. And sometimes you get caught watching, and I know Kenny Griffey I mean, he busts his tail and such a tremendous player, but he took the lineup card out, as you saw, and if there's anybody that's embarrassed about mediocrity and struggling, it's behind Lou Piniella.
Yeah.
The Ken Griffey Jr.
The short. Big hop there for Rodriguez off the bat of Ramirez, and that'll do it. That inside the park home run by David Bell is the first inside the park home run ever to be hit here at the Jake. This is David Bell coming home with that first.
I was transferred to Phoenix last year. My first call went to the folks back in Boston.
Hi, Bob.
My second went to 1-800-GET-SPORTS. I ordered MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV Sports. Not just for me, for him. Someday he'll be a big Red Sox fan, if the Diamondbacks don't grab him first. With MLB Extra Innings, we can see up to 35 regular season games every week from all across the country. Not that we'd ever watch anybody but Beantown, but you might.
Come on, Billy. Rocket by the car.
Your dad talks really funny. I'm used to it.
I always dreamed I'd spend summer evenings with my son at Fenway, but the seats were never this good. I can almost smell the grass. If you call 1-800-GET-SPORTS right now, you'll get the 98 regular season for just $139. We're learning how to hit, how to field, how to play like a team, and most important, we've learned that a hot dog always tastes better watching a ball game on MLB Extra Innings. Order today.
Gary Miller with you in the studio as EA Sports brings you a couple of updates. First, Chipper Jones on a home run tear. This one off Jose Silva. His third in as many nights. It's already his 7th of the year. A solo shot as Greg Maddux looks for his first win of the year. He's got a 1-0 lead after 1 against the Pirates.
It's usually all he needs. Back here in Cleveland, the Indians have the 1-0 lead as we go to the second inning, and the designated hitter for Seattle, Edgar Martinez. 317 career hitter for one of the sweet swings the game has ever had. Now 35 years old. Finished second in batting average, walks, and on base percentage last year in the American League. Malone's pitch is a strike on the outside corner, and 2-1 on Edgar Martinez.
A lot of decisions in this ball club with Woody Woodward making for contracts next year. Martinez and Johnson, 2 of the figures that are up for free agency.
Popped up second base. Bell. Martinez. 1 down here in the second inning. Seattle Mariners 7 consecutive losses, yet they lead the majors in home runs with 26. But the bullpen of Lou Piniella's has just given up game after game for this team. Even though it's early on in the year, you've got to get this kind of thing settled down. He tried to do that tonight. We wanted to speak with him on an hour and a half before the game, and Lou was just bringing him in one at a time into his office to talk with him, along with the new pitching coach, Dan Williams, and just trying to instill some confidence, I'm sure, Ray. Just trying to pick him up a little bit.
Well, I think, Lou's been around a long time. He's a tremendous competitor, very fiery, and I think there's a time when you just have to chew butt, and he's tearing it up inside. I'm telling you, no one knows the feeling that a manager goes through. I've never experienced anything like it. As a player, you can go in slumps and you can do something about it. You can work hard at it. You can find a way to do something to help your ball club. As a manager, you're over there, your hands are tied, and it just wears you out every night. And I wasn't a smoker or drinker, but it almost drove me to smoke and drink.
Having a couple of thoughts on that, huh?
Oh, man. I'm telling you. My hair started falling out. I turned gray-headed. It's a lot easier up here.
Yeah, you got that right. David Segui takes the pitch outside. Segui's off to a great start this season. He's second in average, second in hits in the league, and 7 for 14 in the games against the Cleveland Indians so far. This is the final of 3 in this series, and the Indians have won the first 2 by scores of 6-5 and 8-3. They also won 2 games opening the season in Seattle. So the Indians are already 4-0 against the Mariners. 4 of the 10 wins they've had this season. Colon getting his first start here against the club he hasn't beaten. He's 0-3 lifetime against Seattle for this 22-year-old right-hander. Segui with 1 down and nobody on. Reaches and he's gone. 2 Ks for Cologne. Let's check it elsewhere. Gary, what you got?
Gary, give it the White Sox, who have been in a terrible slump, but leave it to one of their ex-pitchers to help them out of it. Greg Norton tees off with the bases loaded off Danny Darwin. That'll go to the gap. The relay will be juggled by Roberto Alomar, so he gets a 2-run double plus an error that clears the bases. White Sox up 5-1.
Talking about pitching staffs that have struggled, that White Sox staff has had its problems also early on this year. Glenn Allen Hill up there. Glenn Allen Hill with that 400 average, 7th in the league early on this year. 1-0 count, 2 down, nobody on. Cologne with that fastball. Alomar digs that one out of the dirt. And a 2-0 count on Glenn Allen Hill.
Well, he does have a lot of movement on that sinker. That ball really is moving down.
His catcher, Sandy Alomar Jr., said he's an entirely different pitcher from last year. He got sent down last year, and when they sent him down to the minors is when he worked on the 2-seamer and came back with tremendous movement on that pitch. And Sandy Alomar just said, hey, this is a different guy. This guy's ready to pitch now at the major league level. And he certainly looks like it, the way he's been whipping it in here in his starts, as the hitters are not catching up to him. 2-1 strikeout.
But Gary, there comes a time when you feel like you belong in the big leagues. It's always a struggle. You work your way up through the minor leagues. You get to the big leagues. You have a little cup of coffee. You struggle a little bit more. They send you down again. And eventually you start having a little bit of success, and somebody gets in your ear and you start believing in something and having a game plan. Obviously that sinker added to his repertoire has made him feel much more confident, and he's much more effective.
There it is. Cologne is on a roll. He has struck out 3 and retired the first 6 Mariners that he's faced. The Indians have the lead. 1-0 here at the Jake.
It's hard to tell the difference between Buick Century and many of today's expensive luxury cars. Look closer and you'll find a rather distinguishing feature. A Consumer's Digest Best Buy. Century by Buick. Well equipped for under $20,000. And now it's a Best Buy that's even easier to buy with 1.9 APR GMAC financing or special leases.
3 hours from now, this place will be filled with 18,000 screaming fans. And if I can take these Coors Lights, deliver them in all their frost-brewed glory, it is my name they're gonna be cheering.
Here, man. Excuse me.
Two hours and 59 minutes from now.
Some come to see the hype. Some come to see the show. Others simply come to see the stars. Prince Nazim, HBO's new star maker.
Major League Soccer heats up when the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars take on the Chicago Fire. Friday at 8:30 on ESPN.
Randy Johnson going back to work here in the 2nd inning, and Geronimo Baroja 5 for 24 lifetime against this left-hander. 0-1 delivery to him. That fastball is inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Baroja with a 238 average, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Rips that one foul. You do sit on dead red when Randy Johnson's on the mound, even though, as you mentioned, Ray, that hard slider he throws probably makes this fastball even tougher.
It does, and there's not really anything you can do about it. He keeps coming, and that's what you're going to do. You get the bat head out, and you have to catch it so far in front of the strike zone that you hit it foul.
Baroja down on the count here, ball and 2 strikes. Randy Johnson 1 strikeout so far, add another one onto that one. He's got 2, 34 on the year, and there's 1 away here in the 2nd inning.
Well, after that slider in, he comes right back with a fastball trying to go up with it, and Baroja's just late. He just busts that ball inside, and generally you can get the bat hit on that ball down and in, but when you're Randy Johnson, he's right on top of you, and although he's only throwing 91, it gets there pretty quickly.
Only 91, huh?
Well, I say that because he can get it up there 96, 97. But even when he throws 97 with his release point, I've mentioned J.R. Richard the last couple of telecasts, but he was 6'8", and what made him seem so tough was the fact that he was right on top of you. He threw 95 miles an hour. Well, that's what the gun shows. But your eyes, it looks like it's about 105.
You saw the umpire, home plate umpire, Ed Hickox, turn around. They called Randy Johnson for taking his hand to his mouth, and the count's 2-0. That was a called ball because he did not have permission to go to his mouth to dry his hands here in what he thought was a cold enough night. You see pitchers blowing into their hands on the mound. Well, you can't do that unless the umpire has given you permission. And at this point, he didn't have it, so it's a 3-0 count on Sandy Alomar. And that takes it to 3-1. As the night goes along here, it may get cool enough for the umpires to say they can do that, but not at that point. Alomar 7 for 23 with 1 home run lifetime off this left-hander, and he's out of there to Cora. Line shot, but Joey Cora, second base, perfectly positioned, and there are 2 down in the second inning.
The third baseman, number 17, Travis Fryman.
Oh, he's a great sight here at the Jake. One of the game's great yards. Great to have you with us here on Wednesday Night Baseball. Gary Thorne, Ray Knight, and our crew. 1-0 lead early on. Indians on top. Randy Johnson, Travis Fryman at the plate, and Fryman will foul it off. Fryman getting the start at third base in tonight's game. Don't know why at the last minute Alomar and Fryman flip-flopped in the lineup in this game. Fryman's had the most unusual numbers against Randy Johnson. 8 for 36, and 4 of his 8 hits have been home runs.
Well, that's because he's just thinking dead red and letting it go and not being real selective. And Randy makes his pitches, he gets him out, but if he leaves it over the plate, he gets the bat barrel out there.
And that one almost all the way to the screen off the end of the glove of Dan Wilson, and a 2-1 count.
But Travis said before the game that it wasn't Randy's fastball that bothered him. He seems to be able to see his fastball pretty well, that it runs away from him a little bit, and he feels pretty comfortable with his fastball. But he says that when Randy gets him out, he gets him out on that hard slider in.
2-1 delivery to Fryman, and the fastball away this time, and the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. Johnson's had great success against the Indians in his career. 10 wins and only 3 losses against Cleveland. 3-1 to Fryman. Thought about it, laid off it, and gets the walk. First free pass, and with 2 down, 1 on here in the second inning.
There's Stan Williams, the pitching coach, and believe me, he was a Cincinnati Red pitching coach when Pinella won the World Series in 1990, and he'll be smoking them heaters right along with Lou if things don't get right, because Lou vents, you know, quite often, and Stan's one of those guys that can handle it because he's tough as nails.
Nardi Contreras was the pitching coach till a couple of days ago. Lou Pinella said we just got to make a change here and try and do something, especially with that bullpen. So, new pitching coach. Jeff Mando, runner at first base, 2 down, and Randy Johnson way up high with it. 1-0 count. Johnson has walked only 10 so far this season in the 22 innings that he has worked. Randy Johnson, one of the problems he had when he first started was that he did not have much control at all. And that's what turned his career around. He always had the heat. Getting it in the strike zone was another thing. Took something off that one and got it in. 1-1.
You know, way back in 91, 92, he walked 152 batters in 91 and came back and walked 144 in 92. So he was all over the place. He could not throw a strike, and we were talking earlier about he's got 124 lifetime victories. That surprised us both. We thought he had a lot more than that.
Jeff Mando pops that one up. Yeah, lifetime 124 wins and 69 losses. For the guy who has struck out more batters per 9 inning than anyone ever in Major League Baseball. He has had 4 strikeout crown seasons since coming over to Seattle, and more strikeouts in the 90s than any other Major League pitcher. But he doesn't have a win this year. 0-1 after winning 20 and losing only 4 last year. Strike 3 called as he cut the inside corner. Mando didn't think so, but he's gone. That's 3 strikeouts for Randy Johnson, but a 1-0 lead for the Indians.
A job doesn't make you old. A family doesn't make you old. Even a mortgage won't make you old. Regrets make you old.
Generation Next. It's a game of arms, legs, and feet, of force and finesse, where 9 men play 9 other men for 9 innings for just one reason: to come home one more time than the other guys. Major League Baseball. Don't miss a minute. Player stats, exclusive chats. The only way to get closer to the game is to be in the dugout. MajorLeagueBaseball.com. What a sight to see.
Indians 4-1 at home this year, and got a 1-0 lead in this game over the Mariners going to the top of the 3rd inning. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. Coming up, Gary Sheffield leads the world champion Florida Marlins against the Arizona Diamondbacks. They will be on the air. You'll get to see that new yard, maybe take a dip in the pool Sunday night. You can rent that whole pool down there at that new ballpark for the Diamondbacks. Like $2,500 or something, I guess, for the hook for a game. Oh, $4,000. How'd you know that?
Sounds like something you do.
Well, that'd be a pretty good night, wouldn't it?
Pretty good night. You take 4,000 friends.
That's right. Buck apiece. Indians leading this one 1-0. And Jeff Houston coming up. Yeah, but you'd be one of them.
Thank you.
That's what matters. You know what I mean? Bottom 3rd of the order. Bartolo Colon has retired all 6 Seattle Mariners that he's faced. No walks, 3 strikeouts for him. Young right-handers got that sinking fastball working. And Jeff Houston is getting the start at 3rd base in this game. Evens the count up on that swing at 1 ball, 1 strike. In at 3rd base. Looking for a bunt that there won't be. Popped up behind the plate. Alomar can't find it, but didn't matter. Him all the way back over the screen, and that'll take it to a 1 ball, 2 strike count.
You know, Gary, looking at Alomar there, this Cleveland ball club has become very, very solid in their pitching staff. They acquired Dwight Gooden. He was hurt. Chad O'Jay had a knee problem. He's going to be back the 21st, actually starting today. We'll start the 21st here. But they've amassed a pretty good starting rotation. If you see Jarrett Wright, the rookie sensation last year in the World Series.
Another one. Alomar sees this one and catches it. Colon gave him a little help there when that ball went up in the air. His pitcher started hollering and pointing. You see him coming back talking to him right there. And Jeff Houston is on 1 down here in the 3rd inning.
You see Bartolo, watch him go right here. He's pointing right up. He wants to go catch this ball. He didn't want to have to throw any more pitches than he has to.
So you're not going to miss this one. Come on, Sandy. And Alomar went back and found it. 2 down. He's either blowing it by him here early on, or that ball's moving so much they're underneath on those pop-ups. Ray and I were commenting between innings. Even from up here, that thing looks like a pea. It's got some real mustard on it. 0-1 count. Dan Wilson behind the plate, hitting at 257. The 0-1 pitch to him, misses inside. Wilson, 29 years old, a great defensive catcher. He threw out base runners last year at a 43% rate, 3rd best in the league. And a pretty decent 267 batting average to go along with that. Pitch taken inside that time. 2 ball, 1 strike count.
Watch how much this ball moves sideways and down. It's a fastball, 93 miles an hour, that 2-seamer. Look how hard it moves late. Boy, that is nasty late movement, and that's what hitters hate to have to face.
And then he goes back outside with it and gets the 2-2 count. That ball moving so much, Ray, that Alomar actually had his glove mispositioned. He doesn't want to catch a ball that way, but he couldn't move it over to do it any other way.
Because it moves so late. It's that late, quick movement that gets hitters out.
Tried to get him to chase one there, couldn't do it, and a full count on Wilson. Dan Wilson with one down, nobody on, and the Indians leading 1-0 on the inside the park home run picked up by David Bell. A breaking ball that time, fought off 3-2.
Well, he hung that breaking ball, and fortunately for Colon, it stayed inside, and defensively, Wilson's fought that ball off. But that ball right there is the type of pitch that leaves the yard. Look how it just hangs right inside. If that ball breaks, he'll hit that ball a long way.
Signed at the age of 18, minor league free agent at that age, now 22 years old. That one busted down the first base side in foul territory, and no play over there for Jeff Mando. David Justice getting the night off tonight. As you might expect, Justice not playing with the left-hander Randy Johnson on the mound. He's so tough against left-handed hitters that even some of the good ones like Justice don't start against him.
And Jim Thome, you're talking about 73 home runs that Grover took out of the lineup tonight. Mike Hargrove, affectionately known as Grover.
Thome and Justice probably don't mind watching this game right now, especially if the Indians win. A 3-2 count again. Malone's overhand fastball. He got him. Who's going to have more strikeouts tonight? Colon or the big unit? That's 4 now for this 22-year-old.
That's some serious juice. Watch him go to the four-seamer now. We talked about the four-seamer being up around chest high. And just watch this ball, how it jumps right in. Boom. And that's tough. You change quadrants in the strike zone. You throw down with the sinker, up with the fastball. Take a little off of the breaking ball, and makes it very tough on the hitter.
2 down, bases empty. And Ryan Radmanovich from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. 26 years old. Played 5 full seasons in the minor leagues. There you see the numbers with Tacoma AAA. And gets a major league opportunity because of the injuries. Injury to Jay Buhner that took him out of there. And here he is getting the start in right field.
Well, I guarantee you he's not seen anything like this in AAA.
Say, where did this come from? 0-2 count on him. Missed with a fastball inside, 1-2.
Not for very long anyway.
No, that's right. He apparently is the first Calgary native ever to play ball in the majors. You know, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. 1-2 delivered, and that one slides away, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. He played on the '92 Canadian Olympic team, attended Pepperdine University in '93, where he played some college ball, and an all-West Coast Conference player. But he, like the rest, can't hit that. 5 strikeouts in 3 innings for Bartolo Colon.
Got a funny youth baseball video? Enter the Blimpie Blooper Contest. Pick up an entry form at your neighborhood Blimpie restaurant.
Brooks Brothers Eyewear by Luxottica. What do you want people to see?
I want you to see wisdom. You're a lucky man.
I want you to see that tradition doesn't have to be traditional.
Let them see you in Brooks Brothers Eyewear by Luxottica.
Professional race car driver Scott Pruitt to test our Firehawk SH30 high-performance tires with Unit T. Unit T, the ultimate tire technology we've spent years perfecting. In fact, when it comes to designing performance tires for wet cornering, we've been around the block. The Firestone Firehawk SH30 with Unit T. Get a grip on wet cornering. And get a Microsoft racing game when you buy a set of 4 Firehawk SH30 or SC50 high-performance tires.
For men, healthy hair starts with a healthy scalp. New Total Hair Fitness shampoos with natural plant extracts actually help stimulate the scalp and unclog pores for stronger, healthier hair. New Total Hair Fitness for men.
scoreless game with a man aboard against Steve Traxel of the Cubs at Shea Stadium. Second game of the day there, and second home run of Rick Reed's career, a clothesline off Steve Traxel, who gave up the most gopher balls in the league last year. Reed also homered last year against the Reds, but after our esteemed colleague Ray Knight left.
Get you that time. Randy Johnson, Omar Vizquel's up, 1 strike count on him. And the big unit's fastball misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Vizquel batting in the number 9 spot. 4th best average with that .412 number in the American League. Johnson took a little off that, caught the outside corner. 1-2.
That's more of a curveball that he throws on occasion.
Vizquel launches that one down the left field line, but it'll be a foul ball. Souvenir and a 1-2 count.
Gary, when he drops down, it comes from that angle that's so acute, sidearm. That ball is coming at such an angle inside that you cannot do anything. It's almost slicing across. Look at the angle of that ball's coming in onto the hitter. Vizquel looks like he might have hurt his side right there.
Omar Vizquel with a 1-2 count and chases heat, and that's the 4th strikeout for Randy Johnson. Vizquel already has a bad finger that he injured on a head-first slide. That time it looked like it may have been more to the side of him.
Well, he has no chance on this fastball. Johnson doing the same thing that Cologne does, and watch him wince right here at the end. He almost.
That pitch would make you wince. Vizquel, the strikeout victim. That'll bring up Kenny Lofton. Lofton also called out on strikes his first time up. 2 for 9 in the series, and Lofton doesn't like it at all.
Well, Gary, before the game, Kenny Lofton talked to me about Randy Johnson. He said he does not like facing Randy Johnson because every time he faces him, Johnson throws a ball at his head.
Here we go. Both dugouts have emptied. And it's pretty serious now. Lou Piniella down there had to be moved away as he started moving in on Lofton. They're restraining, the umpire restraining Piniella, and Hargrove taking Lofton away.
Well, Kenny Lofton, he talked about it very candidly when we talked to him before the ball game about Randy Johnson being a headhunter, and he seems to throw at just certain hitters.
Look at this. This is Piniella. This is Piniella that Lofton is after, and you see Pinella's, that's Barnett, Larry Barnett, the crew chief, had a headlock on him, trying to hold him back. Ken Kaiser there. Piniella is really hot.
Well, that's a lot of frustration right there, man, and I know that man very well. He's not playing either. But this is what happens a lot of times when you're down, lost 7 ball games. You know, and it's sometimes you do this to try to get your club lit up.
Ray, we ought to make, you made the point here, and I think we ought to emphasize it to fans, you as a player, former player, and manager. When you call a guy a headhunter, that is a serious indictment from a ball player.
It is, and I was very careful to say that on the air nationally, but the fact is that's what Kenny Lofton said, and he said that he didn't care if I repeated it. So, you know, I'm repeating it because he said that, and because it happened in this ball game. And he obviously feels that very strongly about it. And he said to me, just to reiterate, that the last 4 times that he's faced Randy Johnson, he's thrown a ball at his neck, up and in. He said, I don't mind people throwing at me down around my waist, but it's ridiculous that the ball comes up and in at me. And that's pretty much right around the neck.
Johnson hollering in after that pitch to Lofton.
He said that's a slider. He said if I want to throw and hit you, I'll throw the fastball. He said that was a slider. And that is true. That looked like a slider to me, and he's certainly not going to come in there. But look at Lou. I tell you what, he says, come on over here. Is he talking to Lofton there?
He's talking to Lofton.
Well, he ain't kidding you, buddy. He wants to get some of that frustration out of him.
Now, the home plate umpire, Ickox, has gone out to the mound here. I have not seen a warning issued yet. If a warning is issued, then obviously if again they think you throw at a hitter, you're gone. Both managers were talked to by Larry Barnett. Piniella, I can't believe he wasn't thrown out of the game, but Larry Barnett, a veteran umpire, handled that well. Now he's got a pitch to him I don't know if a warning was given. I never saw the home plate umpire turn around and point upstairs. But, man, that was chin music for the second consecutive pitch on Kenny Lofton.
Well, I guarantee you that wasn't a slider. That was a 90-plus mile-an-hour fastball.
Somebody's been thrown out. Sandy Alomar Jr. is being restrained. Somebody just got thrown out of the game by the home plate umpire, Ed Hickox. It may have been Sandy Alomar, the catcher.
Well, I'm sure that he's upset because Randy wasn't warned to start with. I mean, any time that you have both managers coming out on the field, all the dugouts emptying, the bullpens emptying, there has to be a warning regardless. There needs to be a warning that cuts everything out. Then you automatically eject the pitcher the next time it happens. You said that he handled it well. I believe that you have to have a warning right there.
Yep, and there may have been one, Ray. But I said I do not know if one was given because I never saw the umpire point up to the press box.
Well, you'll find out. If Randy Johnson's still in the ball game, there was no warning. If there was a warning, he's gone.
There are some heated players down there right now.
That's not a very good matchup there, Vizquel and Johnson. Huh?
Omar Vizquel went out to talk to Randy Johnson. Stan Williams, the new pitching coach, standing to the right there, immediately went out and stayed between Randy Johnson and everybody else. Ray, before the game, we said this was going to happen. We were talking about there's going to be a headhunting contest tonight. We said there's going to be an emptying of the dugouts. Because Seattle's lost 7 in a row and Randy Johnson's pitching and the bullpen for Seattle's terrible, he's got to get a lot of innings in tonight and try and turn this thing around for Seattle. It's happened.
And you're looking at two ball clubs that know respectfully that they are the best ball clubs in the American League. I think both of them really believe that.
All right, let's take you back how this thing started. Now, this is the first pitch thrown to Kenny Lofton when he came to the plate. The first one. Now, he's saying this is a slider. That's what he claimed afterwards.
That's not a slider.
That was a fastball.
That was not a slider. That looked like the second pitch to me. Was that the first pitch? That was the second pitch.
That was the second pitch.
That was a definite fastball.
Now Barnett. Randy Johnson is out of the game. So apparently there was a warning issued, and Randy Johnson is gone. You got the worst bullpen in the majors. You're down 1-0. It's the third inning, and you're going to go to the bullpen. I think Lofton may have been thrown out as well because he got led over to the dugout by the umpires, and it certainly would make sense that Johnson and Lofton and maybe Alomar, I think Sandy Alomar Jr., the catcher, was thrown out as well by the home plate umpire in the discussion that started after that second pitch. Now, of course, no bullpen's been warmed up, so they will give the bullpen as much time as they need here, whoever Lou Piniella wants to bring in. There's Sandy Alomar Jr.
They ought to be pretty warm. They ran in from the outfield twice.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, they hardly got out there before they had to come back. Well, there they are going back out. Randy Johnson, 2 inside pitches thrown to Kenny Lofton.
That's a backup slider there.
That's the first one.
That's the first one.
And Lofton and Johnson got into a heated debate. Johnson kept walking into him.
That's a slider. He said, that's a stinking slider. Now
this is the next pitch after they finally cleared things.
Well, if I'm a hitter, I go get him on that one. I guarantee you. The first one, breaking ball, I don't say anything about. But you got to go out there after challenging. My goodness.
Johnson leads the majors with 4 hit batters. He didn't hit anybody there, but it won't matter. He's going to be thrown out of the game anyway. Now, Sandy Alomar Jr., somewhere right over in that mess is right here, is where he really got mad. And the home plate umpire, Ed Hickox, threw him out right there during that part of the discussion.
Let's look right here again. Look at the catcher setting up. He sets up outside to Danny Wilson. Look at him setting up way outside. Let's see if this ball really is way inside. he reaches way back in there. It is enough inside to make me mad.
Oh, yeah. That was a message right there.
Well, I was seeing Danny setting up outside. I said, wait a minute, that ball may not be as inside as it looks.
It was as though he'd set him up for a breaking ball away on that pitch. I'll tell you that much. Well, we're going to have a bunch of new players joining us here at the Jake. Wells has come on to do the pitching. Bob Wells. And he will warm up on the mound, obviously, and will take as much time as is necessary. It'll be up to him to say when he is ready. Sandy Alomar Jr. explaining how he got thrown out of the game, and Cleveland's still got a 1-0 lead. We'll be back.